What up, everybody? Scuffy here. This is. Can I get that to go? Can I make that work? I might. Yeah, that's about as good as it's gonna get. Actually, kind of looks good. Yeah, that looks good on me. Um, what up, everybody? Saturday, May 30th. We are here. We're at the end of the month, so we've got a couple things going on here today. First off and foremost, I'm going to be going through. I want to go ahead and take a moment. The May Decklist contest has ended, has wrapped up. The May Decklist contest the theme was Istvan 5 for May, being the 5th month of the year. So let's go ahead and take a look at the winners. Again, the first place prizing for Decklist contests is an Epic of the winner's choice, and then a rare of the choice for places second and third. This time around for this contest for May, I had 8 players submit, which is less than the month before, but we've got a new faction, we've got new neutrals, we've got a whole new set out, so there's a lot of epics and rares that people may want to be interested in. But all that talk aside, let's go ahead and take a look at the winners, and we'll come right back. So coming in at third, submitted by Aleph0, is a Medusan deck list, Survive Our Darkest Hour, indicating the various necessary escapes that were needed by the Iron Hands to escape the tragedy of Istvan 5. Medusan was on life support at that time as he was suffered massive injury. There was heavy weaponry, there was design flaws, and then he, following Istvan 5, waged an underground war. You've got the underground fort, underground war, there's the trap, the bunker. There's just a lot of artillery strikes and mortar strikes here, I think echoing the fire and chaos that was taking place in terms of trying to get the Iron Hands fleet to successfully disengage from Istvan 5 at some point before eventually rendezvousing on a command post, at which point Medusan could change his entire strategy of warfare. So very interesting deck approach, kind of post Istvan 5, but at the same time tying to those breaking moments. And we've got second place Caesar returning with a submission here, Clipping the Wings, which is kind of highlighting Lorgar's encounter with Korax on Istvan 5. Korax and Lorgar met toe-to-toe, Lorgar bringing with him his possessed marines, his dark brethren, basically establishing or revealing what the taint of the warp had given to them, believing that they had dark blessings. Sore Backpaw was indeed there, and the informant network is basically essentially designed to show how they broke the stealth and the normal tactics that the Raven Guard used. And you've got an onslaught in terms of Apotheosis and Dark Martyr, just these massive beasts and brutes just who had new unseen powers landing and striking back and essentially breaking the lines of the Raven Guard in this toe-to-toe encounter between Lorgar and Korax, which actually is a really interesting storyline moment. So very nicely done. And then coming in first place here is a deck list submitted by J Thrills, the Drop Site Massacre. And this highlights Horus Lupercal basically setting the trap. He set the trap here from his command post, allowing all the legions to land upon Istvan 5, spreading false information with the informant network, an unreliable informant, before basically overwhelming with treachery and stalking, releasing the traps from his fellow cohorts within the Sons of Horus, as well as the other legions. You've got Second Wave basically representing the other troops that landed side by side before revealing their treachery here as well, ultimately leading to the triumph of chaos as it basically outflanked and broke the loyalist forces on Istvan 5. There's just enough chaos cards here possibly to allow for a Whispers of Horus build, but ultimately just a very nice thematic deck. So very good job. Congratulations on the first place. Okay, so some good submissions. Even though there was only 8 submissions. There were some pretty close, tight ones. There were some good themes there. There's a couple Sevitars that were just right on the honorable mention side, so I'd like to just mention those. They both actually had the same title for their deck, which, if you're a Sevitar fan, you should know what that is. I'll let you, I'll let you say it out loud. I won't, because I'm not, because I'm loyal. First off, I'm a loyalist. I would not have died on Istvan 5. I probably would have died, somewhere else. And let's face it, that's what happens to everybody in the 31st and 41st millennium. There's no clean deaths. Come on. So, all that said and told, congratulations to the winners. Big thank you to everybody who submitted, who participated. We want to talk about June's decklist contest. The June theme is apothecaries. Apothecaries. I'm making it very broad here. I went through a while back on my own, and just kind of took a look at all the different warlords that we have, all the various roles that we have. There's so many different roles. We've got Terminators, and we've got first company captains, we've got line captains, we've got dreadnoughts, Primarchs. And we've got, as far as within the Astartes go, we've got apothecaries. We don't have any chaplains. Technically, the chaplain order had not yet been established, or the rule wasn't established correctly. Its role was much more to enforce the Edict of Nicaea, so it's a totally different thing. But we don't have any standard bearers. We don't have any. The closest thing we've got as far as Tech Marines go is basically most of the Iron Hands chapter, but we don't have really a Tech Marine per se. But we do have quite a few apothecaries. There's quite a few. Just about every legion, I can't say every, but probably a good chunk of the legions have got an apothecary warlord. I mean, of course, we've got Psyker warlords as well. Librarians, that's a whole different thing. Ex-librarians, that might be a theme down the road, but we're talking about apothecaries. So show me your best deck list featuring an apothecary of your choice, using their talents to the best of their ability, whatever it may be. But whether it be a standard cut and dry Legion style deck, or you've got little tools of trade, or little thematic cards that just might play more to the nature of how that specific apothecary preferred to work or practice, or was necessary. For instance, Tarsa has got a whole different faction, but his role in the aftermath of Istvan 5 is totally going to be different, perhaps, than Fabius Bile, not just because of Legion cards, but in terms of, ethos and work ethic, and totally, I mean, come on, it's Fabius Bile, right? So, apothecaries, that's the June decklist contest. You'll have until June 25th to get your decklist submissions sent to me, either via PM on Discord. If you're not on Discord, again, check it out. If you're not, it's very easy. You get on that little icon next to the F for Facebook. The community on Discord is huge. There's a lot going on there. There's always stuff active. Tournaments take place there all the time. We've got these contests here, as well as card creation contests. Some very good discussion. Always worthwhile. If you don't want to get on that way, you can also send it to me via Reddit, via PM. That's fine. I'll take a look at those too as well, and consider those submissions. So you have until June 25th to get the apothecary decklist theme completed and submitted. First place will win an epic of your choice. Third place and second place will both receive a rare of your choice, and that can include, I'm just taking a look at the shop just now, that can include right here the Eightfold brand new epic, right? Which, why not? Let's just do two of those. Do I need one? Do I need two? Yeah. You never know. I could come up with a deck that could do two. I could do that. I'm not gonna feel bad about that. Got that. Okay. Just gotta check. You never know. You never know when you're going to get an emote that is brand new to the game, especially after a new faction has released. So you have until June 25th to get those submissions in, and then good luck. Good luck to the participants. Good luck to the submissions. Again, big congratulations to the winners for May, and look forward to seeing what you bring in next for the Apothecary Decklist theme. Now, with the Decklist contest portion out of the way, I want to follow back up on Lodge Wars 4.
Warriors, come out to play! Warriors, come out to...
Okay, so Lodge Wars 4. Last time we met here, we were just wrapping up round 2 of the finals bracket, rather the single elimination bracket. Kind of went over the overall as far as the teams that had advanced from round 1 to round 2. And I had actually seen on Challenge that Traitors End had advanced to the semifinals. I misspoke at that time. I guess I was not aware that Traitors End had not completed all their games. They had one victory up that was showing them moving into the bracket, but they still had 2 games to go. They lost one of those, but we pulled it out. We won our second game, so Traitors End does still indeed advance to the semifinals over Pure Power. I did not know, something I've learned since that time, which is only just several days ago. Pure Power is a auxiliary lodge or a sister lodge of the Seekers community. So there's the Seekers, and they've got just about 8 or 9 of them, I think, maybe 10. There's a Seekers X. I've never seen Seekers 9, but I've seen Seekers X, so I'm assuming that there's 10 of them. Pure Power's in that as well. So when we're talking about round 2 of the single elimination bracket being a chunk of Russian lodges, I was considering Pure Power, Traitors End, and Orphans of War to be non-Russian playing lodges, or bulk of Russian players, and I didn't realize that Pure Power was. So we're actually out of those 8 lodges, 6 were Russian lodges. We've whittled it down. Traitors End is now in the semifinals, and we are squaring off this week against Seekers 3. In the other bracket, it's Seekers 4 versus Seekers 10. So Seekers, Traitors End. 3 Russian lodges and Traitors End, and it's really interesting. Again, I'm going over the team for our lodge here. We've got Alex 87, we've got Koboltan, and we've got Guard Buddy. Those guys are just solid players here. I'm going to share Alex 87's games. I've got the okay from him as well as from his opponent to share those, just to go through. We'll do some commentary on those to kind of see how that wrapped up. That was the deciding game to see who was going to advance. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing those. I have not looked at them yet. He was, I believe, facing a semi-clone. I don't know if they were running similar warlords, but it was kind of like his alter ego. But here we are. We're at semifinals, and this week is going to be very interesting. I hope that we win. If we win, if Traitors End wins this round, we will have broken the third place curse, and either we will get first or second against some highly competitive, capable players here with the Seekers community. If we don't, then we'll have to square off in the bronze match to fight for third. So good luck to Traitors End. Good luck to all the lodges who've made it. Congratulations to all the ones who made it up to the single elimination round. Just a great showing. I like how the tournaments have evolved and have improved. I think World Cup was a great example of how much the community can kind of come together and really have a big showing in terms of players. And I look forward to seeing more of that. I think they've already kind of hinted, and haven't officially announced, but hinted that Lodge Wars 4, or Lodge Wars 5 rather, will be coming. So I'm going to have to think of a subtitle for that, because I was really scratching my head to come up with the Lodge Warriors. Initially, that started out as a Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors thing, but then because there's like Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was the Dream Warriors, but then I was like, well, I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with the Warriors. Let's just do that. 5 though, 5. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So very curious to see what happens this week through this round. And while we're thinking about that, let's start watching these games. Let's take a look at the games that Alex has shared. So Alex is running, I believe he's running Theo in addition to Korax, and he is a very long-standing player with Theo. So I'm kind of curious to see how that game goes. So we've got Korax versus Nassau. Okay, all right. It's got potential. Good pull. It's a great way to get that on curve. You definitely do. It's a solid start. And having Shadow Wardens there, if he can get those out there and they can survive without getting, like Auric Mortalist or something like that, yeah, that could put some hurt on. That could put some big hurt on. Very nice. Okay, I'm liking it so far. One thing that I find that's very interesting with this tournament so far, we've had a couple adjustments to the card pool, meta change, etc., etc. But we have not had a massive shakeup that has forced any of the players to make changes to their warlords. When we did the World Cup tournament, there was a change there that, I mean, it was a big change. It impacted Theo, Ultramarines in general, as well as a couple other minor warlords, and that resulted in a good chunk of players dropping Theo and going to an alternate warlord. This time around, so far, we've not had that with the changes that they've made. I think part of that too, with this format, this tournament starting. Oh wow! Oh, cause I just missed that he played Remembrance Order. That's nice for Nassau. So he's got First Strike and Sneak Attack. Sure, why not? But we've got. Okay, checking it. Just gonna put the hurt on, make him pay full cost for that. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Okay, looks good. We've not had a change in terms of the big shakeup that they had with the card change was one thing that has not really massively affected what people are playing. But on top of that, I think not allowing the Malevolence expansion in this game, in this tournament, made it a little bit easier, because we knew that there was going to be changes to those factions as they appeared, depending on how powerful or how weak they were. Just a better way to go. So much smarter to kind of nip that in the bud, and I don't think we're going to run into any problems here in the last 2 weeks. So I think that's kind of nice. It's nice when everything works out smoothly and there doesn't have to be major adjustments made in the middle because a big shift that people were not anticipating coming down the pipe, or something that changes, that wrecks an entire ability for a team to perform. So that's a pretty tight and clean game there. There's nothing much that can be done on that end. I mean, just Nassau did what he could do to the best of his ability. So solid first win there. Oops. Let's get into the second game here. Okay, so Rom versus Theo. Okay, all right. That could be interesting. So he's going to drop Marcellus because that's a high energy play. I definitely want to get that healing in, and supply lines for Marcellus. Okay, that's a good card to draw. The question is, how will it fare? How will it fare? Well, we know the results, right? But I want to see how it's executed here. I'm very curious to see how this gets executed. Chain of Command, boy, that works great with Bounce and Melgator a couple times. Getting maximum value. Very smart though in terms of pinging the one on the cultists. It eliminates his ability to play him doubly effective. Using that supply lines early out. So he's got his cheap Marcellus. Solid. So far, not bad. If nothing major gets dropped, he could drop the Mortar Strike on his next turn. Or he could play the... okay, so he's probably going to want to bounce her, I imagine. Nope, he's going to go for... Well, he still has the energy. He could drop her. He could drop Melgator and play Chain of Command and pick Melgator back up, which is really, again, kind of goes into that telegraph play. We talked about that in the training cage video a while back in terms of telegraph play. And I was, basically saying, look, I can do this. You're gonna, I've got Melgator again. I can do it again. Do you really want to press your luck? Well, maybe either the options aren't there for Loki 1987, or he's baiting out that Melgator one way or the other. Now, the thing with Rom, at least at the very least, is you put that Melgator out, that's a free little minor heal for Rom, but then it takes that off of the face strike for Theo, so that's nice. And that's a solid play, but Stellic on point with the Logos Maxima curve. Stellar. Wow. Nice counter, just having the right tool at the right time. And he does not have Architect of Heresy. If he had an Architect of Heresy to steal it, that would have really, really hurt. He could have still played Ancient Marcellus and gotten the Courage effect here. But, ooh, wow. That is painful. And he's just going to take out the threats. Yep. Oh, wow. Keeping that close, but at the same time, that presence that Marcellus can offer, you can get rid of one, you can't get rid of two. And even if you jam him, you're still going to have to eat 7. He doesn't even know about the Manifest Destiny or the Apothecary, although I'd drop the Manifest Destiny. I'd give yourself a little bit of cushion. But he's got the 7. He's got the Goldstone Hunters. Solid. Nice game. Good play. Just getting the cards that he needed to get him when he wanted to get him. Cool beans. Good game. Good games. Cannot default that. So that's from Pure Power. And now it's faced off. We're going to see Alex squaring off against whoever's in Seekers 3 against their teams. So good luck. Good luck to the players who continue on. And that's it. That's what we've got going over here. That's where we're at currently here with the semifinals. I will work to update everybody next week when we get into the finals what the standings are looking like. Who's squaring off for first place and second place? Who's squaring off for third place? Will the Traitors End curse be broken this year or not? I'm really curious to see, but I'm just really proud of the guys who have been playing it, and I want to congratulate them. Good job. Good luck, guys. I'm rooting for you. All right, that's it for me. I hope that was interesting. I hope you got a little bit of contest action, a little bit of tournament action over here, a little bit of Scuffy here, a little bit of deck slots there, a little bit of interest up there. I'm trying to think of other ways to move my hands, but it is what it is. All right, guys, that's it for me. We'll talk to you next time, and keep playing Legions.